There were no broken windows, no forced entry, no alarms triggered. The house looked normal from the outside, but inside, everything was wrong. Police would later say one thing stood out immediately. Whoever committed this crime didn't break in. They walked in. They knew the layout. They knew the timing. They knew exactly where to go. And that made this case far more disturbing. Because it meant the danger didn't come from outside the home. It came from someone who already belonged there. The neighborhood. The neighborhood was quiet and well kept. Tree-lined streets, long driveways, porch lights glowing after sunset. It was the kind of place where neighbors waved, not worried. Police calls were rare. Violent crime was almost unheard of. That's why the 911 call stunned dispatchers. There was a serious incident. Inside a home that had never been a problem before. The victim. The victim lived a predictable life. Stable job, regular schedule, small circle of trusted people. Friends described them as cautious, not impulsive, not reckless. They didn't invite strangers inside, they locked their doors, which made the scene investigators walked into impossible to explain. The Discover police arrived quickly. The front door was unlocked, not damaged. Inside, the house was partially disturbed. Some furniture displaced, some items oddly untouched. Nothing appeared stolen, no signs of a struggle near the entryway. The victim was found inside, and the position of the body raised immediate questions. This wasn't random violence. This was controlled. The crime scene investigators examined every room. The kitchen showed signs of movement, but nothing broken. The bedroom was mostly untouched. The living area told a different story. Evidence suggested the victim knew their attacker. There were no defensive wounds indicating surprise from a stranger. No overturned locks, no forced barriers. It was as if the victim had let someone in and paid the price for it. First questions. Detectives asked the most important question first. Who had access? Who had been inside before? Who knew the routine? Who knew when the victim would be home and alone? That list was short, very short. People of interest police focused on the victim's inner circle. Family, friends, former partners, close co-workers. Everyone was questioned. Stories mostly matched. Alibis appeared solid. But something felt wrong. The crime scene suggested confidence, and confidence comes from familiarity. Forensic details. Forensics didn't give investigators what they hoped for. Fingerprints were consistent with people who belonged there. DNA results were inconclusive. There was no clear murder weapon recovered. The house itself became the main clue. The killer moved through it without hesitation. They didn't search, they didn't explore, they knew. Staging or panic. Some detectives believed the scene had been staged. Others thought it was panic after the fact. But both theories pointed to the same conclusion. The killer wasn't guessing. They understood how the scene should look and how it shouldn't. Timeline problems. Phone records complicated the case. Messages were read but not replied to. Calls went unanswered, but not immediately. There was a narrow window where the crime had to occur, a window someone had planned for. Public reaction. When details reached the public, fear spread. People realized something unsettling. If the killer was someone close, anyone could be vulnerable. Trust became the enemy. Theories, 75s, 88 so. Investigators considered several possibilities. A trusted visitor turned violent, a personal conflict hidden from others. Someone exploiting routine and access. Every theory required one thing, someone the victim trusted. Years later. Years passed, no arrest, no confession. The case file grew, but answers didn't. Detectives still say the same thing. The house tells the story, they just can't prove it. Ending the door wasn't forced, the locks weren't broken, and the killer didn't need directions. Because sometimes the most dangerous person is the one who already knows where everything is. And until that person is identified, this case remains unsolved.